Defiant, tearful, and claiming she's not a killer.
The media will not leave, and this is an intrusion on all my neighbors, and they don't deserve any of this.
Dee Dee Moore started with one message, but quickly shifted gears when asked about the murder of Abraham Shakespeare.
Because I have never hurt that man. He knows I would, everyone knows I would never hurt that man.
The tragic fate of lottery winner Abraham Shakespeare. It was a sweltering day in Tampa, the air thick with tension as Doris Dee Dee Moore sat in the Hillsborough County Courthouse Annex. She was a woman desperate for a second chance, convicted of a crime so heinous that it had captured national attention. Back in 2009, Abraham Shakespeare, a former sanitation worker who never graduated school, won a life-changing $30 million lotto jackpot. Opting for a lump sum payout, he walked away with $17 million. He always dreamed of living in a big mansion in North Lakeland, said Detective Dave Clark of the Polk County, Florida Sheriff's Office. With his newfound wealth, Shakespeare realized his dream. But in November 2009, the 42-year-old vanished. His cousin, Cedric Edom, reported him missing after not seeing him for several months. Detectives began their search by questioning Shakespeare's relatives and friends. Greg Massey, a close friend, revealed that Shakespeare had sought his advice on managing the money. Known for his generosity, Shakespeare often paid for rent, groceries, and even funerals. However, the constant barrage of requests for money had started to wear him down. Detectives didn't know if Shakespeare had left on his own or met with foul play. They did know that many people owed him money or were angry he hadn't given them any, so they decided to follow the money trail. Their investigation led them back to Cedric Edom. Why had he waited 7 months to report Shakespeare missing? After thorough scrutiny, Edom was cleared of any suspicion. Attention then turned to Shakespeare's phone records. Up until April 9, 2009, his phone was inundated with calls from people asking for money. After that date, the only person he communicated with was Doris Dee Dee Moore, who claimed to be giving him financial advice. Moore assured investigators that Shakespeare was fine and promised to have him contact them, but no call ever came. Meanwhile, Moore reached out to the media, emphatically denying that Shakespeare was dead.
He knows I would, everyone knows I would never hurt that man in any way.
Did you murder Abraham Shakespeare?
Absolutely not.
Dee Dee, you indicated
She claimed she met him in 2008, offering to write a book about his life and help him manage his money. By then, she said, Shakespeare had already spent $11 million, mostly loaned or given away. Subpoenaing Moore's phone records, detectives discovered that she and Shakespeare had been together for every call made after April 9. Confronted, Moore initially denied having Shakespeare's phone, then admitted she had recently thrown it out of her car window, claiming he didn't want to be found. "We realized Dee Dee was a manipulator and a liar," said Clark. But they needed more evidence. They decided to play along, asking her to help them contact Shakespeare's mother for Christmas. Moore obliged, but Shakespeare's mother immediately sensed something was off. The caller didn't sound like her son and claimed he wasn't feeling well. Further investigation revealed the call came from a phone owned by Greg Smith, whom detectives then tracked to a crowded mall. They saw Smith and Moore exchanging money. Interrogated, Smith confessed Moore had paid him to call Shakespeare's mother. Smith, who owed Shakespeare $63,000, agreed to become an informant for the police. Detectives set up a sting, having Smith tell Moore about a supposed cousin willing to take the blame for Shakespeare's murder in exchange for $50,000. Undercover officer Mike Smith posed as the cousin, pressing Moore for details on the murder to make the story credible. Moore took the bait, admitting that Shakespeare was dead. The next day, Moore gave Greg Smith a gun and a map showing where Shakespeare's body was buried. She was arrested soon after and confessed that drug dealers had killed Shakespeare, a claim detectives didn't buy. On January 26, 2010, a recovery team used the map to find Shakespeare's body beneath a concrete slab in Plant City. He was wearing the same clothes as in the April 9th video. An autopsy revealed he had been shot twice in the chest, and blood found in Moore's house confirmed he had been killed there. In February 2010, Moore was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, to which she pleaded not guilty. Her trial in November 2012 saw her putting on dramatic displays in the courtroom. However, the judge called her cold, calculating, and cruel, and D.D. Moore was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Now, in 2023, Moore was back in court, arguing for a new trial. Her current defense hinged on two pieces of evidence she claimed her previous lawyer failed to present: DNA from the crime scene and testimony from Shakespeare's ex-girlfriend. Assistant State Attorney Ronald Gale questioned witnesses methodically, his focus unwavering. Moore's previous defense attorney, Christopher Bolt, took the stand and described the challenges of defending her. Ms. Moore was a management challenge, Bolt said, recounting her erratic behavior and tendency for non-sequiturs. As the hearing progressed, Moore herself took the stand. She spoke with urgency, often needing to be redirected by the judge as her thoughts meandered. Her current attorney, Rachel Reese, fought to keep the focus on the alleged oversights in the original trial. The courtroom buzzed with anticipation as Judge Michelle Sisko listened intently. The stakes were high. A decision in Moore's favor could mean a new trial and a shot at freedom. As the hearing concluded, the weight of the decision hung in the air. Judge Sisko would review the arguments and evidence, her ruling to determine whether D.D. Moore, now 50, would get another chance to plead her case. The world watched, waiting to see if the story of greed, betrayal, and murder would take yet another twist. But the prosecution remained steadfast, confident in the original verdict upheld by appeals courts in 2015 and 2019.